What is up, Achievers? Welcome to our 10-minute approximately cool down. You want to be doing this if you have just finished a workout, if you just want to kind of wind down at the end of your workout and want to do so appropriately and kind of hit all the kind of areas like your hips and your shoulders and your upper back, all those sorts of good stuff, then you've come to the right place. But we're going to get started, all right? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to lay down on our backs and go into what we call supine breathing, all right? So you're going to be on your back like so. And then from here, knees up, feet down. All right. Now from here, let's get your left hand on your upper chest and your right hand on your stomach. We're going to get some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right. So deep inhale through your nose. Out through your mouth. Now the thing that I want you to focus on is as you inhale, try to send the air down low towards your stomach. All right. So deep breath in through your nose. As you inhale, ideally, that right hand should slowly rise up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, it should slowly come back down. All right, so this is right after a workout. We're trying to down-regulate your system. We're trying to unwind a little bit and get you back into more of a rest and digest type of nervous system state. All right, when we're working out hard, we get into sort of a fight or flight stage. We want to try to wind things down and get our bodies into recovery mode as quickly as possible. All right, so this deep belly breathing really helps us set the stage, helps us set the foundation for that to happen. All right, so get a couple more deep breaths for me before we transition to our next movement. We're going to get one more, kind of an impromptu ASMR session. All right, perfect. Now from there, we're going to be in this exact same position on our backs, this time with our legs straight out. And from here, all we're going to do is bring one knee up as close to our chest as possible. All right. Now, when we do this, the tendency is going to be to have that down leg sort of come up. All right. And kind of slack the stretch a little bit. I want you to be a little bit more active with that bottom leg, be a little more intentional and straighten out that leg down towards the floor as you have this top one flexed up. With this stretch, especially if you've been doing some lower body work, you should feel some hips, you should feel some hamstrings, some glute, all that sort of good stuff as we're kind of going back and forth here. Now, what you can do to get even a little bit more glute or just hit different angles in general is just to point your knee in different directions. So you can point it in, you can point it out to get a little bit more inner thigh, but just kind of explore, basically feel which areas feel tighter and feel best for you. And same concept, trying to get some deep belly breaths here. We don't want to tighten up again. We don't want to hold our breaths just to get a little bit of a stretch in, because that's going to get our bodies back into that sort of fight or flight mechanism. So we want to rest and digest. We want to breathe naturally. All right, let's switch sides. Let's get that other hip into hip flexion. We're going to hang out here. We're going to be active with that bottom leg, pushing it down towards the floor. And we're getting some good stuff all throughout our hips. All right, and then I encourage you to, again, explore. Kind of bring that knee in, bring it back out. Find which areas feel tighter for you, which corners feel tighter. Hang out there. But again, make sure you're breathing and relaxing. All right, I want you to slowly come on up. We're going to get into a hip flexor stretch. So we're going to get into a kneeling position, and I want you to get 90-degree angles, all right? So we got 90-degree angle in the front leg, 90 degrees in the back leg. And the thing that I really want you to do is try to tuck your back under. So you're really tucking your hips as much as you can. You're trying to squeeze your glute, whichever leg is down. You're trying to squeeze that glute. Place your hands down on your knee and slowly push forward. All right, you're going to get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch here. The thing that we don't want to see is you really reaching forward and arching your back in order to do so. This is fine for, yoga and stuff like that, but for, in terms of a strength training workout, we like to get a little bit more localized, a little bit more targeted in that hip flexor. And we can do so by making sure that there's no arch in the back. We're getting a little bit of core engagement as we drift forward. Okay, it doesn't have to be a large stretch, but we are getting some good benefit in this down leg. And we're just going to hold that for about 10 more seconds before we switch sides. And again, deep belly breaths. All right, let's switch sides. So again, 90 degrees front leg, 90 degrees back leg. You can have that back toe tucked or untucked, whichever one you want. You're gonna have your pelvis tucked so that your back is flat. You're gonna squeeze the glute of that down leg, both hands on your knee, and you're gonna slowly drift forward. And again, getting a good hip flexor stretch without arching the back excessively. All right, so get some deep belly breaths here. We're gonna hold this for about 15 to 20 more seconds. Got 5 more seconds. Awesome. All right, from there, we're gonna get down on all fours, and I want you to reach one leg straight off to the side. All right, so your goal is to try to get this knee as locked out as possible, this foot relatively straight. I want you to get that chest tall and proud, and I want you to sit all the way back towards your heels. All right, we're gonna hang out right here. We're gonna hold for about 30 seconds. All right, so again, deep belly breaths in through your nose. Out through your mouth. So we're getting a lot of good inner thigh here. So before we worked on hip flexion when we were laying down on our backs, and then we got up into a kneeling position when we worked on hip extension, and now we're gonna get our inner thighs in this one. All right, so deep, deep breaths. Working all throughout the hips with these last 3 stretches. All right, let's switch it up. So left foot straight out. Really reach that leg out. Foot is pointed relatively straight. And again, tall, proud chest. Try not to kind of slouch and round your back, but instead, tall, proud chest. And that helps to keep the stretch throughout your hips as opposed to putting it onto your back. All right, deep breaths. We got about 10 more seconds. We just have 2 more stretches remaining, and then you'll be all set. Whether you're at the gym or you're at home, you can get on with the rest of your day. All right, perfect. Next up is a cat-cow. We're gonna work the entire back for this one, all right? So hands right below the shoulders, knees right below the hips. I want you to slowly arch your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, look straight ahead. And then we're gonna reverse the movement, all right? I want you to round your back, spread your shoulder blades apart, dome your back while looking down. All right, so we're getting our upper back, our mid back, and our lower back all involved as we arch and then round our backs. So this one is often called cat-cow, but just a great one to do to loosen up the back a little bit. We often try to stay neutral throughout a lot of our strength training efforts, but it's also important to have our back be able to move in various degrees of motion. So it needs to be strong and stable, but it also needs to be pliable and supple as well. So it helps to get some mobility back after a good strength training session. All right, we're gonna get a couple more reps here. Again, deep breaths as you're doing so. And then we've got one final stretch coming up, and then you'll be all set. All right, so last one. If you have a doorway, this is gonna be a little bit easier to just get your hand up on a doorway to get our chest and our shoulders involved. But if you don't have access to one, what you can do is actually lay face down on the ground like so. You're gonna have your hands outstretched, palms face down. You are going to look over your left shoulder, and from there, bring your left foot back behind you. All right, now it can hit the floor or it can hover, but either way, you'll notice that I'm getting a lot of pec and shoulder stretch in this right hand of mine. All right, so getting some deep belly breaths here, but this is kind of a nice sneaky way to get some additional pec and shoulder stretching without a wall necessarily available to you. We're also getting a little bit of T-spine as well, our upper back involved, and getting a little bit of hips involved as well. So kind of total body. Again, deep belly breaths. All right, we're going to switch sides. So again, arms stretched out and reach out this way. And again, a great way to get that chest, your shoulders, your upper back, basically everything just involved here in this sort of rotational stretch. Deep breaths. All right, slowly come out of it. Feel free to repeat any of those stretches if they felt good for you. If you have some extra time, maybe you can throw in some foam rolling if you'd like, but that kind of covers all of our bases. Of course, if you are doing something very specific and need a calf stretch or need a forearm stretch, definitely feel free to hit those now, but that was more of a general sort of reset. But after this, we do plan on recording some more targeted videos, so let us know in the comment section below if that's something that you want. Let's say you're a runner, or let's say you are doing rock climbing and need some more forearm and wrist specific stretches. Please let us know in the comment section below. But until next time, sweat out, happiness in.